Your shower looks clean. You rinse it every day. You use expensive sprays and scrubs and all those bright-colored bottles lined up on the shelf. But those dark lines cutting through your grout, those stubborn black stains hiding in every crack and corner, they never fully go away. And here's what most people don't know. That's not dirt. That's a living thing. And the way most people are fighting it is exactly why it keeps coming back. Black mold in a shower isn't just ugly. It's a colony. It's alive. It breathes. It spreads. And it's been quietly winning the battle against your cleaning routine for years. Millions of households across the United States, Canada, and Australia deal with this exact problem. They spray, they scrub, they bleach. 2 weeks later, the black lines are back. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. And patterns have a reason. If you want to uncover the hidden science behind your home, hit subscribe so you never miss a secret. Today we're going to break that pattern. Because what you're about to learn isn't a hack or a gimmick. It's built on a real understanding of how mold works, why grout is its perfect home, and how a handful of ordinary household ingredients can do what most commercial cleaners only pretend to do. Let's start with the problem itself. Grout is porous. That's the key word. Under a microscope, grout looks nothing like the smooth surface you see with your eyes. It's riddled with tiny holes, millions of microscopic pores that act like a network of tunnels. Water flows in, soap residue flows in. Skin cells, shampoo, hard water minerals, all of it gets absorbed. And then it sits there, deep inside that porous surface, warm, wet, and completely sheltered from the surface sprays you apply on cleaning day. That's where black mold lives, not on the surface, inside it. Mold doesn't need much. It needs moisture, a food source, and warmth. Your shower gives it all three on a daily basis with military precision. Every hot shower you take creates a cloud of steam that coats every surface. The grout absorbs it, the temperature is perfect, and the organic matter, soap, dead skin, shampoo residue, gives the mold everything it needs to grow. This is why the spray and wipe approach fails. A surface spray can't reach inside the pores. It kills what's on top. The mold underneath survives. It grows back. You spray again. It grows back again. The cycle repeats. Understanding this is half the battle, because now you know what the solution actually needs to do. It doesn't just need to sit on the surface. It needs to penetrate. It needs to reach inside the grout, break apart the mold at the root, and neutralize the conditions that allowed it to grow in the first place. And there are two household ingredients that do exactly that. The first is white vinegar. Vinegar is acetic acid. That sounds intimidating, but it's the same ingredient in salad dressing, just in its pure, undiluted form. And that mild acidity is remarkably effective against mold and mildew. It breaks down the cellular structure of mold. It doesn't just bleach it or cover it. It actually disrupts the biological integrity of the fungus itself. But what makes vinegar especially powerful in a shower context isn't just what it does to mold. It's what it does to the other buildup that creates the perfect environment for mold. Soap scum is alkaline. Hard water deposits are alkaline. Vinegar is acidic. When an acid meets an alkaline substance, it neutralizes it, breaks it apart, dissolves it, lifts it away. That combination of soap scum and hard water isn't just cosmetically ugly. It's mold's protective shield. It coats the grout surface and keeps moisture locked in underneath. Vinegar strips that shield away. The second ingredient is baking soda. Baking soda is a mild abrasive and a natural deodorizer. On its own, it gently scours the surface of grout without scratching or damaging the tile. But the real magic happens when you combine it with vinegar. The chemical reaction between the two creates a rapid fizzing action, carbon dioxide bubbles that are physically active. Those bubbles push into the pores of the grout. They agitate the mold, the soap scum, the hard water deposits. And they push them out, not from the outside in, from the inside out. That's the trick. That's what makes this method fundamentally different from a spray and wipe. Now let's walk through exactly how to use this method, step by step. Before you start, run your shower on hot for 2 to 3 minutes and then step out and leave the door closed. You want the bathroom warm and humid. Heat opens up the pores of the grout just enough to allow your solution to penetrate deeper. This one small step dramatically improves the results. Next, apply white vinegar directly to the grout lines, undiluted. You can use a spray bottle to cover large areas quickly, or you can pour it directly onto a sponge or cloth for more targeted application. Don't wipe it yet, just let it sit. Give it a full 5 to 8 minutes of contact time. This is the step most people skip, and it's the most important one. The vinegar needs time to work its way into the grout. Reach the mold colonies below the surface and begin breaking them down. Patience here pays off in results. While the vinegar is sitting, make your baking soda paste. Take a small bowl and combine 2 to 3 tablespoons of baking soda with just enough water to create a thick, spreadable paste, similar to the consistency of toothpaste. You want it thick enough to stick to the grout lines without running down the tile. After the vinegar has had its contact time, apply the baking soda paste directly on top of it, working it into the grout lines with an old toothbrush or a small grout brush. The moment the baking soda hits the vinegar-soaked grout, you'll see the reaction happen right in front of you. The fizzing begins immediately. That's your visual confirmation that the process is working. Those bubbles are actively loosening and lifting the mold, the soap scum, the mineral deposits, pulling them up and out of those pores. Work in small sections. Apply, let it fizz for 2 to 3 minutes, then give it a light scrub with your brush. You don't need to apply aggressive force. The chemistry is doing the heavy lifting. Your brush is just guiding the loosened debris out of the grout channels. Then rinse with warm water and look at what's underneath. For the tile surface itself, the flat ceramic or porcelain face rather than the grout lines, the same vinegar spray works beautifully on soap scum and hard water stains. Spray, wait 5 minutes, then wipe down with a microfiber cloth. The acidity of the vinegar cuts through the mineral haze left by hard water, revealing the original brightness of the tile surface underneath. If your tiles have a persistent hard water buildup, that chalky white film that builds up near the waterline, you can increase the concentration by slightly warming the vinegar before applying it. Warm vinegar is slightly more reactive and penetrates buildup faster. You don't need it hot. Warm is enough. For grout lines that have years of deep embedded staining, a single treatment may lighten the mold significantly without removing it entirely. In those cases, repeat the process 2 or 3 times on the same session, allowing the vinegar-fresh contact time with each application. The improvement compounds with repetition. Each round pulls out more than the last. Here's something worth understanding about the smell. Vinegar has a strong odor. There's no getting around that, but it dissipates completely within 30 to 60 minutes of ventilation. Open a window, run the bathroom exhaust fan, and by the time you come back, the smell is gone. What remains is a shower that smells genuinely clean, not masked by artificial fragrance, but actually clean. Because the mold producing that musty odor has been neutralized at the source. The musty smell in a bathroom isn't a mystery. It's biological. Mold produces volatile organic compounds as it grows, the same compounds that give aged cheese and damp basements their distinctive smell. Remove the mold and the smell disappears with it. No air freshener required. Now, maintenance. Because removing mold is one thing, keeping it from coming back is the other half of the equation. The single most effective thing you can do after every shower is ventilation. Mold needs moisture. Cut off the moisture, and you cut off its ability to grow. Run the exhaust fan during your shower and for at least 15 minutes after. The goal is to drop the humidity in the room below 60% as quickly as possible. Below 60%, mold growth slows dramatically. The second maintenance habit is a weekly vinegar spray. Keep a small spray bottle of undiluted white vinegar next to your shower. Once a week, or after any particularly steamy shower, spray the grout lines with vinegar and let it air dry without rinsing. This creates a thin acidic layer on the grout surface that actively resists mold regrowth. You're not cleaning, you're maintaining. 2 minutes of effort once a week. Third, address hard water buildup the moment you see it forming. That white chalky residue isn't just cosmetic. It creates a rough, sticky surface that mold spores adhere to far more easily than clean tile. A quick wipe down with a vinegar-dampened cloth twice a month keeps the tile surface smooth and inhospitable to mold. And finally, squeegee the tiles after your shower. It sounds almost too simple, but a squeegee removes the majority of the surface water before it has a chance to settle into the grout. If the grout can't absorb the water, the mold can't colonize it. 30 seconds with a squeegee after every shower is one of the highest leverage habits you can build for long-term shower cleanliness. A word about commercial mold cleaners. They work, to a degree. The bleach-based sprays you'll find on any store shelf will whiten mold stains and kill surface mold effectively. But there are 2 problems with relying on them exclusively. First, bleach is primarily a whitening agent in this context. It kills what it touches, but the active ingredient doesn't penetrate deeply into porous grout. The surface looks clean. The mold deeper inside is untouched. Within days or weeks, it grows back to the surface. You're managing appearances, not solving the problem. Second, bleach is a strong oxidizing agent. Used repeatedly on grout, it gradually weakens the grout material itself, making it more porous, more brittle, and more susceptible to future staining. You're essentially accelerating the degradation of the very material you're trying to clean. The vinegar and baking soda method doesn't have either of these drawbacks. Vinegar penetrates. It works inside the grout, not just on it. And neither vinegar nor baking soda cause any long-term damage to tile or grout with regular use. If anything, the regular removal of hard water mineral deposits keeps the grout surface in better structural condition over time.